Good morning, students. This is the second part of the chapter number 3, Force and Pressure. Pressure on solids. Air pressure is exerted on all the objects kept in air. When a weight is kept on a solid, pressure is exerted on it. This pressure depends on the value of the weight and the contact area between the two. Try this. Do the activity as depicted in figure. What is seen in the figure A, the plank is horizontal. In figure B, 4 books are placed side by side on the plank. In the figure C, the 4 books are placed one above the other in the middle of the plank. The difference that we see, even though the books are same in the figure B, the plank is in the same shape. But in the figure C, because of the weight of the books, the plank has bent. Why the plank is bent even though the weight of the books is same in both the cases? We know that pressure is equal to force upon area. In both the cases, force is same as the weight of the books is same, but the pressure is more in the second case as the surface area is decreased, and that is why the plank is bent. Pressure of liquid. Try this. Take a plastic bottle. Take a 10 cm long piece of a glass tube on which a rubber balloon can be fitted. Warm up one end of the glass tube and gently push in the bottle at about 5 cm from the bottom. To avoid leakage, apply molten wax on the side of the glass tube. Now fill water slowly in the bottle and see how the balloon inflates. What is observed here? By this activity, we can conclude that pressure of the water acts on the side of the bottle as well. When we pour the water inside the bottle, water exerts pressure on the wall of the container. When water enters the balloon, it exerts pressure on it from inner side and inflate it. Try this activity. Take a plastic bottle, pierce it with a thick needle at the point as shown in the figure. Fill water in the bottle up to full height. As shown in the figure, water jets will be seen emerging and projecting out. The water jet emerging from the hole at the top will fall closest to the bottle. The jet from the lowest hole fall furthest from the bottle. Also, jets coming out from the two holes at the same level fall at the same distance from the bottle. What is understood from this? By this experiment, we can conclude that at any level the liquid pressure is same. At the lower level there is more pressure, so water ejected from there goes furthest from the bottle. Hence, the pressure increases as the depth of the liquid increases. Do you know why wall of dam is broad at its base? The reason behind that, the pressure exerted by a liquid increases with its depth. Thus, as the depth increases, more and more pressure is exerted by water on the wall of the dam. A thicker wall is required to withstand greater pressure. Therefore, thickness of the dam increases towards the bottom. We have seen that solids and liquids exert pressure on an object. Let us study gas pressure. Gas pressure is the force of the gas particles colliding with the walls of its container. When air is filled into balloon, the balloon gets inflated because gases exert pressure in all directions. The air filled in the balloon exert pressure on the wall of the balloon in all directions. If a pinhole is created in the balloon, air leaks out and the balloon does not inflate fully. This shows that like a liquid, gas also exerts pressure on the wall of the container in which it is enclosed. All gases and liquids can flow, hence they are called as a fluids. Fluid in a container exerts pressure from within on the wall and bottom of the container. A fluid enclosed in a container exerts its pressure equally in all directions at a point within the fluid. Atmospheric pressure. Air surrounds the earth from all sides. This layer of air is called atmosphere. The atmosphere exists to about 16 km height. It further extends up to about 400 km in a very dilute form. The pressure exerted due to air is called the atmospheric pressure. Imagine that a very long hollow cylinder of unit cross-section area is standing on the surface of the earth and it contains air. Weight of this air is the force applied in the direction of the center of the earth. This means that atmospheric pressure is the ratio of this weight divided by the area of the surface. The air pressure at the sea level is called 1 atmosphere pressure. Air pressure decreases as one goes up in height from the sea level. 1 atmosphere is equal to 101 into 10 raised to 3 Pascal, which is equal to 1 bar, and 1 bar is equal to 10 raised to 3 millibar. 1 millibar is equal to 100 hectopascal. Here millibar and hectopascal are the unit of atmospheric pressure. The atmospheric pressure at a point in air is equal from all sides. It means if you will take any point above the surface of the earth, it will have equal amount of pressure from all the sides, whether it may be from the top or from the bottom or from any side. How is this pressure created? If air exists in a closed container, the air molecule in random motion continuously hit the walls of the container. In this interaction, a force is exerted on the wall of the container. Pressure is created due to this force. The air pressure at the sea level is about 101 into 10 raised to 3 Pascal. This is the pressure that we carry over our heads, or there is approximately 1000 kg of weight of air is always over our head, but we don't feel such pressure or we don't get crushed by such huge atmospheric pressure. The cavities in our body are filled with air and arteries and veins are filled with blood. Their pressure balances the pressure due to the atmosphere. Hence, we don't feel the atmospheric pressure. Buoyant force. Try this activity. Take a plastic bottle and fix the lid tightly. Now place it in water and see. It will float on water. Try and push it into the water. Even when pushed, it continues to float. Now fill the bottle with water to the fullest capacity and close the lid and release in water. What do you think? Will this bottle sink in water? No. It will not sink, but it will float inside the water. Why does this happen? Let us find out reason of this. The empty plastic bottle floats on the surface of water. On the contrary, the bottle full of water floats inside water but does not go to the bottom. The weight of the empty bottle is negligible, means very less as compared with the weight of the water inside. Such a bottle with water neither floats on the surface nor does it go to the bottom. This means the force due to gravity acting downwards must be balanced by an opposing force in the upward direction on the bottle filled with water. This force must have originated from the water surrounding the bottle. The upward force acting on the bottle in water or other fluid or gas is called as buoyant force. An iron nail sinks in water, but why does the massive steel ship float on it? Iron nail sinks as its volume is less and density is greater than water. Thus, the buoyant force exerted on the nail by water is less than the weight of the nail. A ship is made from iron, but due to particular shape given to it, it displaces a large amount of water so that the buoyant force acting on the ship due to water balances the weight of the ship. Hence, the ship floats on the water. It becomes easier to swim in sea water than in fresh water. This is because the density of sea water is higher than the density of fresh water due to salts dissolved in sea water. These both examples shows that buoyant force depends on two factors. First, volume of the object immersed. The buoyant force is more if the volume of the dipping object is more. Second, density of liquid. More the density of liquid, more is the force of buoyancy. Do you know the object floats if the buoyant force is larger than its weight? The object sinks if the buoyant force is smaller than its weight. The object floats inside the liquid if the buoyant force is equal to its weight. Archimedes' principle. Take a long rubber band and cut it at one point. At one of its ends, tie a clean washed stone or a 50-gram weight as shown in the figure. Now hold the other end of the rubber band and make a mark there. Keep the stone hanging in air and measure the length of the rubber band from the stone to the mark made earlier. Now take water in a pot and hold the rubber band at such a height that the stone sink in it. Again measure the length of the rubber band up to the mark. What is observed? This length is shorter than the earlier length. While dipping the stone in water, length of the stretched rubber gets slowly reduced and is minimum when it sinks completely. What could be a reason for a shorter length of the rubber band in water? Let us find out. When the stone was hanging in air, only gravitational force was acting on it in the downward direction. So the entire weight of the stone pulled it towards downward. Therefore, rubber band stretched to its minimum level. We know that when an object is dipped in a liquid, a buoyant force acts on it in the upward direction, and hence it appears that the weight of the object is reduced. Here, when stone is sunk in water, a buoyant force acts on it in the upward direction, and the weight of the stone acts downwards. Therefore, the force which acts on it in the downward direction is effectively reduced. And because of this, length of the rubber band became shorter in water. How much is the magnitude of the buoyant force? Is it the same for all the liquids? Is the buoyant force of equal magnitude for all objects? Answer to all these questions are present in the Archimedes principle. According to Archimedes principle, the buoyant force applied by the fluid is equal to the weight of the displaced fluid. We can take a simple example to understand it. Take a 5 kg solid object and suspend it by a spring balance. The balance will read 5 kg. Now take a beaker of water which has a small opening at the top. Fill water in beaker up to this opening. Keep small container under the opening. Now slowly lower the object into the water and you will see reading will be lower as compared to before for the same object. This is because buoyant force acting on the object. You will notice some water will displace. Weight of this displaced water is equal to the magnitude of buoyant force acting on the object, and that is the Archimedes principle. Principle states that when an object is partially or fully immersed in a fluid, a force of buoyancy acts on it in the upward direction. This force is equal to the weight of the fluid displaced by the object. The use of Archimedes principle is very wide. This principle has been used in the construction of ships and submarines. The instruments such as hydrometer, which is used to find specific gravity of liquid, and lactometer, which is used to find purity of the milk, is also based on Archimedes principle. Density of substance and relative density. Density is defined as mass per unit volume. The SI unit of density is kilogram per meter cube. The property density is very useful in deciding the purity of the substance, because if we will add any other substance in the pure substance, its density will change. The relative density of substance is expressed with respect to the density of water. Relative density is ratio of density of substance to the density of water. Being a ratio of two equal physical quantities, it has no unit. Relative density of a substance is also called its specific